Is a sensational return back to Liverpool on for Michael Edwards? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, today's video is going to center around this man right here in Michael Edwards and this team right here in Liverpool, who were once a match made in heaven and spent the best part of a decade together, only for in 2022 Edwards to leave his post as a sporting director, of course. And now it seems he may be on the verge of returning to Liverpool yet again in what would be a new era for the club for when Jurgen Klopp, of course, leaves his post as manager come the end of the season. Last night, Liverpool took on Sparta Prague in the last 16 of the Europa League, the first leg of the last 16 encounter, in which Liverpool were comfortable 5-1 winners on a night out in Prague. Very comfortable, very smooth sailing as far as what Jurgen Klopp's men were concerned. A very comfortable victory, to say the least. But news emerged after last night's victory in terms of the sporting director and the behind-the-scenes stuff, in which it basically stated that last weekend FSG owner John W. Henry and President Mike Gordon held meeting with Michael Edwards over the course of last weekend to discuss a return to Liverpool in maybe a much more significant and higher role than his previous sporting director role. This was seen as a massive step forward in negotiations with Michael Edwards, who had previously dismissed any initial contact and approach from Liverpool, as he has done with numerous other clubs as well that have come calling for his name. We're going to be talking about Michael Edwards, a possible return, Liverpool, everything else in between. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you lot to get involved in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That make for great and interesting reading down below. Because I'm sure like I say, there's a lot to talk about with this topic, and there's a lot to talk about with Liverpool as well, and there's a lot of speculation surrounding Liverpool right now as they are entering the great unknown. So get everything down below in the comment section. Would love to hear from you all in regards to this matter and all matters regarding Liverpool as well. My club, my team, your club, your team. Love it. Even neutral fans, rival fans, get involved. Let me know what you guys think and feel down below. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's get on with talking about Michael Edwards and a potential return to Liverpool and what that might mean for the future of Liverpool Football Club. Like I say, news came out last night that John W. Henry, the owner of FSG, the president of FSG, Mike Gordon, had held face-to-face talks with John W. Henry in America with Michael Edwards in America last weekend. Like I said, this is seen as a massive step forward. Initially, Michael Edwards has seemingly turned down any sort of approach for him from Liverpool to return in the past. This is seen as a big step forward in which he's seemingly heard out what FSG have in store for him and for the club going forward in terms of what the visionary can be. And it does maybe seem that Edwards, who left obviously Liverpool back in 2022 because he wanted a bigger role within the club, he wanted more of a say, he wanted more power. He may be getting that. He may now be finally getting what he wanted in the first place in Liverpool. Now, whether or not that will be a good thing or a bad thing, obviously only time will tell, because sometimes you can leave a club and then you can go back and it not feel the same and not be the same, and obviously things can obviously be changed and be different. Maybe time moves on, maybe you don't move with the times. A lot of things obviously can happen as to when someone leaves something and then comes back to it a certain time later. The whole in terms of bigger capacity to his previous role will basically or seemingly mean that he will get what he wants in terms of he will be the head of recruitment and the analytic department in terms of obviously like recruitment for transfers and things, and he will also be possibly in charge or at least get a big say in who will become Liverpool's next manager. And it's widely reported and believed that Xabi Alonso will be top of his list. So it does all sound pretty interesting and pretty exciting as far as like Liverpool are concerned. And you know, as Liverpool fans, we are entirely worried about this whole project and prospect post Jurgen Klopp. We're all kind of worried that maybe FSG may not make the right choices in those particular key areas that are going to obviously be redeveloped and rebuilt. Remember, Jurgen Klopp is going to be leaving at the end of the season. A lot of his staff are going to be walking out. There's still a lot of holes to fill behind the scenes as well in terms of sporting director, in terms of anybody that's higher than that, anybody that's lower than that, in terms of maybe a technical director as well. So there does seem to be a fair few gaps, shall we say, that Liverpool need to fill between now and the end of the season. Well, I say end of the season. It would be great to have it all in motion for the end of the season so we can get it all things rolling in the summer. But of course, we know it may not necessarily be as easy as that. It obviously may take until deep into the summer for those kind of positions to be filled. So we'll obviously have to wait and see on that. But everything that is being talked about right now looks extremely positive. We all know that Michael Edwards had an incredible impact for Liverpool across his decade stay with the club, in which obviously he was there for there mainly and mainly became well known for obviously helping Jurgen Klopp become as successful as what he was, and obviously getting the ball rolling under Jurgen Klopp, and obviously developing that kind of structure there. So we obviously know how successful he can be. We obviously know all about him, and obviously in return he knows all about the club inside and out. I think he'll be excited maybe if this obviously is to be the step forward that we've been hoping for and the breakthrough we've been hoping for in somewhat negotiations with him. I'm sure that he'll be somewhat excited to be taking not just a bigger role and a new challenge within the club, but also you've got to think he'll probably be starting with pretty much a blank canvas in terms of things behind the scenes, in terms of a new approach, with new ideas, with a new era beginning. It's going to be very new for him. It's going to be very new for the club, and it's going to be something that the club hasn't had to go through for a number of years in terms of a new manager with new ideas, with a new kind of say and a new era developing at Liverpool. I know we've had to build like a whole new team over the course of the past year or two, but that's obviously under the same manager. This is going to be completely different for him, and this is going to be something that he can be at the forefront of alongside that new manager, alongside the new sporting director or technical director, all of his recruitment team. He can be the main guy behind, he can be the main brains, shall we say, behind the entire operation. And it does sound very exciting. Like I say, it sounds very exciting that Edwards will return, so that we have some sort of structure in place, so that we have some, like I say, the brains behind the operation that we've known and trusted for the past 10 years or so. It'll be interesting to get, obviously, a guy who seemingly wants a very popular current manager to be the manager of Liverpool Football Club. If that is to be the case, a lot of people are on the Xabi Alonso train right now, and myself included, and are hoping that Xabi Alonso is the man to succeed Jurgen Klopp when he does leave at the end of the season. If he is top of his priority list in terms of a new manager, then sign me up for it. I'm all excited and intrigued for that. And not only that, but he will also get to appoint his sporting director. And the man who is seemingly attracting a lot of interest right now is the current Bournemouth technical director, who is definitely leaving at the end of the season. It's been announced that he will be fully leaving at the end of the season, in Richard Hughes. Now, Hughes is highly rated and has been attracting a lot of interest. He's been praised heavily for his work at Bournemouth over the course of, I believe, the past 8 years, in terms of how much of a good eye he has for talent, in terms of how Bournemouth have done well under obviously his under his watch, so to speak, under the promotions to the Premier League, under the recruitment. Big man that Eddie Howe turned to regularly, it seems. So. And like I say, he has been attracting a lot of interest himself, whilst Michael Edwards was obviously attracting a lot of interest for the work that he did at Liverpool, and obviously attracting interest on the likes of Manchester United at times, and obviously Newcastle and elsewhere as well. This Richard Hughes guy was also attracting a lot of interest, and has been attracting a lot of interest. And with him announcing that he'll be leaving at the end of the season for a new challenge elsewhere, there are a lot of clubs that are seemingly monitoring this Richard Hughes situation, Newcastle included. and it seems that Liverpool are definitely one of them as well. So yeah, it all seems rather interesting and exciting that Liverpool actually have a plan in place. Because, like I say, when Jurgen Klopp announced he was going to be leaving a couple of months ago, I was shocked, obviously, but I was a bit worried as well because I didn't know if I had enough trust in FSG to have a contingency plan in place to obviously deal post Jurgen Klopp. I wasn't so sure that FSG would make the right decisions in the right moments. I was there worried that we'd hire someone like Jose Mourinho, for example, as manager, and we'd just wing this whole technical director, sporting director thing, and just hope for the best. It seems like we have a plan. It seems like we're bringing in someone who obviously knows Liverpool inside and out as much as we know him. We're giving him seemingly what he wanted a couple of years ago, which is one of the reasons why he seemingly left. And, you know, overall, it just seems like this could be, again, a match made in heaven, which was seemingly the case a few years ago, that could reignite Liverpool again and obviously kick off a new era at Liverpool with a new manager, a fresh look, a fresh approach, and obviously kick on from there, really. Like I say, Jurgen Klopp's laid the foundations for the next Liverpool squad to come through. He's laid the foundations for not just the senior squad, but for the academy as well. And it just needs someone like Xabi Alonso to take that to the next level on the pitch, and it could be someone like Michael Edwards to take it to a whole new level off the pitch. And it'll be interesting, it'll be exciting. There is a bit of a worry, like I said earlier on in the video, that maybe when you go back to somewhere, it's never quite the same as it is first time around. The only difference there is like, if it is to be believed and if it is to be true, Edwards won't be back in the same capacity that he was a few years ago. He will seemingly be taking a much bigger role and will have a lot more power at the club, which could only be an interesting factor to consider. And obviously maybe considering the fact that obviously he did so well with his previous job, it could actually be a very good decision by FSG to put someone like that in that position of power, someone who knows what they're talking about, someone who seemingly is a footballing guy, and someone who seemingly would do the best for the club in terms of not just off the pitch, obviously, because we always have to keep that afloat, but in terms of on the pitch as well, in terms of the recruitment side of things and obviously the analytical side of things, to obviously keep the sports science still in play at the club and everything. So I, for one, am very excited by this. I'm hoping that last week's talks were the breakthrough that were needed for Michael Edwards to maybe be interested in returning to Liverpool. I think it will be a very good thing for the Liverpool next era. And I think that obviously if he is to bring in his own people, if he is to bring in Richard Hughes, if Xabi Alonso is to come in as well, I think the three of them together can maybe drive Liverpool forward into a whole new era that hopefully is just as or even more successful as what Jurgen Klopp's was, depending on obviously outside interferences from other teams, of course. But those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of this whole Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes situation? Do you think Liverpool will manage to tempt Michael Edwards into returning to Liverpool, or do you think that they will have to be looking elsewhere? And do you think Richard Hughes will follow suit? Do you think Xabi Alonso will follow suit? Do you think that those three will drive Liverpool into a new era? I'd love to know what you guys think and feel. Your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it on this particular topic. I'm sure will make for interesting and great reading down below in the comment section, so do get involved down there. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always incredibly greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon.